Aiku Rework coming this week. Alright, so yeah, it finally happened. It's official. The long-awaited Aiku Rework is coming. And not just sometime soon, but literally in couple days. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this might be one of the most anticipated reworks in Blue Lock Rivals. After months of waiting, endless speculation, and a whole bunch of polls, we finally got confirmation from Miro himself. Earlier today in the official Discord, Miro officially announced, and I quote, "This week is going to be an Aiku rework. Be on the lookout for sneak peeks and leaks." So yeah, that's not a tease, not a rumor, not a hint. That's a full-on confirmation. The rework is happening, and it's happening this week. Which means that within the next few days, we'll most likely start seeing sneak peeks, animations, maybe even the full trailer, and if we're lucky, the in-game showcase of his brand new moveset. And hey, before we continue discussing about Aiku's rework, I just wanted to say that if you are interested in my content, please don't hesitate to like this video and subscribe to my channel, since it's giving me a lot of motivation to keep making daily videos just for you guys. So yeah, let's continue with our main topic. So man, I can't even explain how excited I am about this one. Because if you've been watching my channel for a while, you already know how much I've been talking about Aiku and his potential as a style. He's always been one of the most unique and interesting characters in Blue Lock, but in the game, his first rework completely missed the mark. Let's be honest, that last Aiku rework was rough. It was supposed to turn him into a proper defensive genius. The strategist who reads the field, predicts plays, and dominates through awareness rather than speed. But instead, it felt like the devs didn't know whether they wanted him to be a defender or a striker. The result? A weird hybrid that didn't satisfy either side. He wasn't tanky enough to defend properly, and his offensive tools didn't hit hard enough to compete with real forwards. Even the devs themselves admitted that his previous rework didn't work out the way they intended. And now, this new one, this confirmed rework, is their chance to fix everything. To give Aiku the justice he deserves. But before we dive deeper into what the new Aiku might look like, there's something else Miro mentioned in that same announcement. He also said, "Spend your Halloween spins. The event ends this week." So yeah, you guys heard that right. The Halloween event is ending this week, which means this is literally your last chance to use up your spins, finish your battle pass, and grab any of the Halloween exclusive styles you still haven't pulled yet. And it makes total sense. Halloween's already over, and it's time for the game to move into the next phase of updates. So if you still haven't gotten Skeleton Nagi, Blood Moon Rin, or Phantom Asagi, now's the time. Because once the event ends, those limited spins are gone. And judging by how the devs handled the previous events, we probably won't see them return anytime soon. So yeah, do yourself a favor and get those spins done before they disappear. Alright, back to Aiku, because that's what we're all here for. Like I said, I've already made an entire video before about his upcoming rework and what kind of potential moves we might expect. And looking back, it seems like a lot of what I talked about might actually end up being true. From what we know, the new Aiku will most likely include moves from both his U20 arc and his NEL arc. Basically a combination of his defensive moments and his more evolved playstyle. Think of it like a NEL Aiku, but with all the lessons from his previous version applied. This time, the devs are clearly trying to make him more faithful to the source material, to who Aiku actually is in Blue Lock, and I'm talking about him being a full defender style. That means we'll finally get to see that iconic snake mechanic. And no, not the weird three-headed Hydra from the last rework. This time, it should be the canonical red snake that we saw in the anime, because honestly, that's what the community want all along. If you remember, the old Hydra version of Aiku's ability got a ton of backlash. People said it looked goofy, inconsistent, and totally disconnected from the lore. It didn't feel like Aiku, it felt like some random fantasy monster move that didn't belong in Blue Lock. And to their credit, I hope the devs actually listen this time. I mean, they saw how negatively the community reacted, and now they're clearly willing to try to bring him back in line with the canon. And if you think about it, that's really smart. His entire presence should feel like he's analyzing you, breaking you down before you even touch the ball. That's the vibe the rework needs to capture. And judging by what Miro said, it looks like the devs know exactly what they're doing this time. As I remember like a week ago, they even mentioned that they don't plan on making him a hybrid striker again. Thank God, because that was one of the biggest mistakes with his last version. If I had to guess, his moveset will probably be structured around 3 key mechanics, something like predictive defense, reading enemy movement to steal the ball, of course the zone control, creating an area where opponents can't move freely, but not like he had a sixth sense. That thing was logically incorrect and overpowered. And lastly, let's say interception chains, where successful steals let you instantly counterattack or reposition. And the cherry on top would obviously be his awakening move. Because if they actually go for the anime accurate awakening, it'll probably recreate that iconic moment from the U20 match, when Sei gives him the perfect pass. That scene alone is one of the most hype moments in Blue Lock, at least for me, and if they turn it into a cinematic awakening cutscene, it's going to look insane. And yeah, in his rework, they did animated it, but it was not that canonically good. But the main thing I'm personally hoping for is that they don't try to give him too many striker-style moves again. Yes, I know. Technically, Aiku was a striker before he became a defender. But at this point, almost every style in the game has some kind of dash, shot, or cutscene attack. It's getting repetitive. And I really think this is the perfect opportunity for the devs to introduce more variety. You know, every style should feel unique, like its own personality on the field. And right now, we don't really have a proper defensive style that feels complete. And to the devs' credit, they seem to understand that. After all, this rework has been in talks for weeks. We've seen hints, references, and even leaked ability concepts before. So the fact that they're officially announcing it now means it's basically finished. They're just putting the final touches on it. If I had to guess, we'll probably see the trailer and sneak peeks within the next few days. Maybe even within 48 hours. And if that happens, I'll be covering it the second it drops, so definitely stay tuned. But one last thing I want to mention. If you've seen Azure Latch's version of Aiku, you'll know exactly why the hype is so high right now. Their version of Aiku is basically perfection. The animations are clean, the cutscenes flow beautifully, and the way they handled the snake ability is pure brilliance. It's actually balanced, exactly what Aiku should be. So if the devs manage to capture even half of that energy in this official rework, it's going to be something special. So yeah, to sum it up, Aiku Rework officially confirmed. This time, it's going to be the real Aiku. Anyway, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments. Do you think they'll nail it this time, or do you still have doubts after what happened with his last version? Either way, I'll be watching everything closely and breaking it down the moment we get new info. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and get ready, because this week's going to be huge. Aiku's comeback is finally here. Peace.